Hey, welcome back to Enigmatica 2, where in the last video, we started exploring Nuclearcraft to make this giant production line that should generate all the things needed for small smingets. Eventually I'll throw in the thing to convert them into the the 4 small quad smingets, but that's a little while away. And since last time, I've been thinking a lot about how to make this system better, and I've been getting a lot of suggestions from you guys in the comments, and this seems to be, in its current state, pretty troubled, because Nuclearcraft takes quite a lot of power. I've had the power balancing kind of explained to me, and more or less everything on an equal tier in this gates page can be powered by other things in this tier. So for Nuclearcraft, you're expected to use things from actually additions or mechanism to power it. But I'm trying to use extra utilities, so it's inherently more intensive. And then extrapolating forwards, on this third tier, you're expected to use something from RF tools or thermal expansion to power this. Nuclearcraft might be able to make it because Nuclearcraft seems to be pretty overtuned in this pack, but in general, power tier should come from a mod on the same tier on this gates page. So pushing extra utilities all the way to Draconic is just not gonna happen. But I think I might be able to push it to thermal. And to do that, I'm really gonna have to optimize this. And I asked about the upgrades last time, and it seems that because you can only have as many energy upgrades as speed upgrades, it just won't ever get any more efficient. Because the speed upgrade increases the amount of power use quadratically, whereas the energy only increases the efficiency linearly. So you double the energy upgrades, you double the efficiency, but you double the speed, and it squares the inefficiency. I can demonstrate that in this creative world. Both of these machines were given the same amount of power to run with, and this one with maximum upgrades has generated 3 flour, and this one with no upgrades has made 31 for the same amount of power. So no upgrades is the most power efficiency you can get with Nuclearcraft, which means the only way to make this setup better is to change the machines. I've been looking through the general power usage of all of this, and the majority of the power is going into the salt mixers. So if I can replace them, I could save like 90% of the power. And thankfully, there is something like that in Tinkers. The alloy tank does the same thing as the salt mixer without using any power. And I've checked, and it can do all the stuff for chocolate and gelatin. So if I replace all of these salt mixers with alloy tanks, I can save a lot of power. I'm gonna have to refactor this a bit though. But I'll get onto that later, because there's still other things that I want to do in this episode. Mainly, I want to start actually automatically farming these crops, because then I can get the delighted meals, and I can get what I need for the small smingets. And all of that is going to take Industrial Foregoing. And this is also a pretty important mod going forwards, so it's worth doing this quite a lot. For the sake of this video, I'll just get the stuff I need for the farms, but I am going to have to push this further going forwards. So I guess that's the first thing in this video. Get started with Industrial Foregoing. And for that, I need to make a bunch of machine casings. And I do have the advanced machine casings. I've probably got enough spare rubber. If not, I have a lot of rubber trees. And reinforced stone, clay, grout, and stone. That's pretty easy. I'm 2 rubber short, so I do need to get some more sticky resin. But then I should be able to make 4 machine cases pretty easily. And that now opens up Industrial Foregoing. I'm tempted to get... oh, I get all 3 of them. It's not even a choice reward. So, anything special about this mod? Not really. Just that I need to get a lot of pink slime and dry rubber to be able to continue. And I already guessed about as much. So, I just need to start this the way you usually start Industrial Foregoing. With a tree fluid extractor. And the latex processing unit that I already have. All I'm really missing here is an iron gear. And then I can make that with basically just a lot of stone. So, that's 2 quests done actually. Now I need to work through rubber and plastic. And so the way I do that is I get the tree fluid extractor, and that should be able to extract latex from any log. Then I can pipe the latex into the latex processing unit, along with some water. And when I eventually get enough latex, and if I give the machine power, there, it makes tiny dry rubber. And tiny dry rubber, with 9 of it, makes regular dry rubber, and dry rubber smelts into plastic. So I think I'm just gonna leave that for a while to generate a bunch of tiny dry rubber, because I need so much plastic to do industrial foregoing. So I guess this is where I can multitask and fix the salt mixes. So I had 5 salt mixes, which means I'm going to need 5 alloy tanks. And each one takes quite a lot of seared bricks. And I don't think I have any spare. So I'll just make myself a lot more, because each alloy tank is going to need a seared tank next to it. Oh, and it has to be above a heater, or I guess another tank of lava. So then I'm going to need 10 seared tanks? That's a lot of seared bricks already. Although, that is a lot more than I smelted. Did I have some spare? I might have. I'm going to need it. Actually, that's probably all I'm going to need, because I then need another 10 seared faucets. And that can make the alloy tanks. Oh, and I forgot to calculate the tanks that go adjacent to the alloy tanks. Which means I might not have enough seared bricks in the end. Oh, I'm short by 6. I can make that. There we go. So I'm now just going to quickly fill up all of these tanks with lava. And later down the line, I might need to find a way to automatically refill them. But that should keep it going for a while. So now I need to figure out how to put all of these in place instead of the existing salt mixes. Some of this is going to be easier said than done. And some of these things are going to end up a bit messier than they were before. But in general, I think that's everything. It should be all 5 salt mixes replaced. And it makes this look a bit more complicated, but it should be more or less the same thing. And I guess we'll get on to testing that soon enough, once I can get the rest of the production online. So in that time, I've got quite a bit of tiny dry rubber. I can let it finish this log, but that should be enough to let me get started here. I'll just convert all of this into plastic to finish the quest and unlock all of this. And now I need to figure out which of the machines I'm actually going to need. I'm likely going to need a plant gatherer, which probably means I need a plant sower. There's going to be some logic for that. I don't know if I bother with a plant fertilizer. I can probably do other things. And I'll need a resource fisher. But that's only 3 unique machines. I'm likely going to need multiple of each. That's why I'm going to need so much plastic. And there's going to be a lot of logistics in how I let it grow the crops. Because if I'm going to need a plant sower, there's quite a lot of work to be done if I wanted specific amounts of each crop in one large field. I can't just place it all out like this and then harvest the whole thing at a time, because I'm not going to end up with exact amounts replanted. I might have to make another field per crop, because otherwise one might just overpower the rest of them. But there's a lot of crops to be grown. That might be the best solution. It's going to mean I'm going to overproduce on quite a lot of different crops. Unless I can restrict how much is grown in each plant sower and filter items into whichever sower I need. So then say I can grow a lot more wheat than I do mushrooms. But there's still loads of other logistics about this. Well, fundamentally, I'm still going to need 1 more plant sower per thing that needs growing. So that's 9 different crops. Anything else for this line? I'm not entirely sure how the sugarcane works, if that needs a plant sower. Same with the cocoa beans. I guess this is where I go to a creative world to test. So here I've set up some plant gatherers on sugarcane and cocoa beans. I'll just massively increase the random tick speed so that everything can grow a bit quicker. And turn these on and see how it works. Ah! The jungle log was also taken. Huh. Let me see. If I just put it at the edge of its range then, it doesn't seem to harvest. Yeah, it harvests the logs and not the actual cocoa beans. Interesting. The sugarcane's working perfectly fine though, so I can just do something like that. Cocoa beans is a bit of a puzzle though. I found this harvester. It says it gently harvests things. Let me see how this works. Oh, it can harvest in a big area. And it gathered some sugarcane, but not the cocoa beans. Oh no, you got cocoa beans. Change it to a 1x1 so it only grabs this one. Yeah, it seems to work. And it must be replanting it too. Okay, so this works for the cocoa beans. And given that it can be 15x15, and it replants, does that mean I don't need a sower or a gatherer from industrial foregoing? And this is a lot cheaper power-wise as well. It is kind of expensive, but I'm not going to need too many of them. Yeah, I think this is the solution I'm going to have to go for. It's just really good. So back to the survival world. I don't think I need the gatherer or the sower anymore. I am still going to need the resource fisher, but probably only one of them. It depends how quick it is. So 5 machine cases might have been. So then if I'm using the harvester, I can calculate exactly how much I'm going to need of every crop instead of just a vague guess. And the maths for this is probably going to be quite tedious, so I'll just do that now and cut back to when I'm done. Okay, I've done the maths for exactly how much of everything I need for the 4 small quad smingit, and to get 1 quad smingit, I need 2.5 cocoa beans, 1 3/4 of any fish, 4 1/4 sugars, and 16 wheat. So a lot of wheat. And not too much of everything else. I'd have to scale that up to be a full number. So then with 10 cocoa beans, 7 fish, 17 sugar, and a stack of wheat, I get 4 quad smingits. Those are the ratios I'm going to have to go for. And then I can worry about delighted meals some other time, because this is a much larger tree to go down. And this one I'm already kind of doing manually. But I don't have to worry about millibuckets of things. Sure, I can do this one too. Okay, that didn't take quite as long as the smingits. And I've already multiplied out 2 full items, I guess, integers. So I'd get 6 delighted meals with 2 soybeans, 1 mushroom, 1 peppercorn, 1 tea leaf, 3 wheat, 6 tomatoes, 6 lettuce, 6 potatoes, and 12 strawberries. So I guess I can throw in those ratios too. But the majority of the farm is still going to be going towards the smingits. Actually, there's one more step I forgot. Yeah, I can halve the sugar, and instead of multiplying this out to get a stupid amount of wheat, I'm just gonna say I need 9 and not 8.5 sugar canes. But yeah, this farm's gonna be huge. And chances are I'm going to have to do a bit more terraforming to get this on relatively flat ground. Well, first step is I'm going to have to clear out this whole farm, because I think I'm going to have to re-engineer basically the whole thing. And while I'm at it, I have some ideas to make this a bit more of an efficient farm, because it's been mentioned in the comments, this fertile soil. I don't know if it makes things grow any quicker, but it doesn't need to be irrigated. Not that that's too much of a problem. I've already got what I need for that. But if I'm going all out, I may as well. And I've got quite a lot of bone meal, so I should be able to make enough fertile soil. I reckon 5 stacks will do it. Also, I've had it marked for a while, but there's these cyclic sprinklers. And these I know make things grow quite a bit faster, so I'm gonna go get some of them too. I'm basically just missing iron bars, and it's just a bunch of iron. So I can just work through and get all 4 sprinklers. So I think I'm gonna have to terraform this place to make it look a bit nicer, and that means pretty much just rebuilding the whole thing. Ooh, that was exactly enough fertile soil for this. I've now made basically 4 different areas where crops can grow. I haven't really bothered terraforming on this side, but every single area is all 9x9 and all perfectly flat, which should be exactly what I need. I'm a little tempted to scooch this area forwards 1 block. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. There, now it's a nice consistent pattern. I'm not really sure how to hide the jump in elevation on this end, because that kind of terraforming would be pretty steep. Maybe I can embrace the fact that I'm farming it manually and put wood or something around here. I can figure something out. But for now, I just need to worry about getting the harvesters set up. And the main thing that I'm going to need for this is the 4 advanced machine casings. So I'm going to have to go through this process again. And it's mostly just going to be a lot of pressing to make this. So there's 4 basic machine casings that I can turn into 4 advanced machine casings. And then I can make some dispensers and turn them all into 4 harvesters. And then these harvesters are just going to go at the edge of each farm like that. And I've got to set them all to 9x9 mode. Then I'm going to have to connect all of this up to power. And I can't really think of an especially elegant solution to this. But I've now got some pretty rudimentary wire connections. I might have to tidy this up later, because they're kind of in the way. But now the farm should technically be working. I'm now just going to need to go grab all of the seeds and things I need. So I think 2 of these plots are basically just going to be wheat, because I just need that much of it. And this is all growing so fast. And then the rest of this I need for the delighted meals. And I think I'm going to need a few more wheat seeds. But I need to fill up both of these plots with the right ratio of things for the delighted meals. And that's some maths that I forgot to do at the time, so I'll do them now. I think to be able to fit it, I need to do 4 times the ratio. So that's 8 soybeans, 4 mushrooms, 4 tea leaves, 12 wheat, 24 tomatoes, 24 lettuce, 24 potatoes, and 48 strawberries. And that only leaves 12 spaces untouched. I have a few more untouched spaces on the Smingit plots, but I've left that space to be able to fit cocoa beans, because I still need to fit 10 cocoa beans. I'll just fill the rest of these spaces with cocoa beans, but I have to go get cocoa beans. And can I get them from the market? I don't know if I can. I can get them from the sieve though, so sequence break, and I can get the jungle saplings from the market. So I just need to use a string mesh on some compressed sand, and it's not giving me any cocoa beans because I'm getting a bit unlucky, but eventually it'll give me what I want. Then I can get some jungle wood, use that to grow some more cocoa beans, and then I can set those up inside of the farm. But that should now be everything getting grown. And clearly, I've got a bit of an overflow here, so I might want to do something about that. So I'm just going to make a bunch more of these mechanism pipes and see if I can transport this where it needs to go. Although I don't actually know where this needs to go. Hang on, I'm just going to turn these off so that they don't lag my game too much with all of these extra items flying around. And then I'm just going to connect up the 2 lines that I need here. That should connect both the lines for the s'mores, and I don't have enough pipe to be able to bring it in here. I can make a few more cables, and that's now enough to stretch it into this room. But then how do I split things? I don't think mechanism cables can actually sort where items go. This is where I wish I could just use item conduits. Ooh, hang on. I can. And I can make an item filter. I think I do that. I'm just going to make a ton of conduit binder. So then, do I make that? Yeah, I think I just make that many item conduits. That's going to keep me for a very long time. And I can make some item filters. And it doesn't connect to the mechanism pipes, so I'm going to have to replace these. And then I need to set up the filters here to whitelist cocoa beans going into this smelter, sugarcane into the presser, wheat into this manufactory, and then eventually I need to put fish into this manufactory. Except I don't have that resource fisher. So I need to get that now. And it's a relatively simple machine. So I just need to figure out where I'm going to set this up. I'm not entirely sure how. Does it work like that? No. Does it work like that? Yes. So then I've got an idea. I'm just going to put this out here in the lake, and hopefully the power can stretch. No, the crops are in the way, of course. I can lift the relay up a bit, and now it reaches, and it's generating fish. Quite a few different fish by the looks of things, but I think I'm just going to have this come down like that. Can I get this to connect up to the existing line? Yes. This gets quite a lot of weird fish, and I don't know how many of them actually work for gelatin, so I think I'm just going to be binning a lot of these. I'm going to have quite a lot of stuff to trash, all the random seeds and things that I'm not going to be touching, so I may as well make that. But there's not that many items I can blacklist. I don't know if an advanced filter can have any more. Well, as long as I blacklist the main things, I don't think it would really matter if too many of the fish get binned. I'd really like to just get a regular fish in here, because currently the only thing I've found that works is a salmon. This resource fisher is looking worse and worse by the second. Yeah, it's just producing a lot of random stuff. So I'll just put salmon and fish in here. They seem to be the main two. And I'll whitelist everything in there just in case it works. But I'm probably going to be binning a lot of clownfish and pufferfish. I don't know. But in theory, this all works. I should now be automating everything I need for s'mores, and they should all be going into a complete assembly line. Oh, this is really not going to work that well. Hang on, I need to put some energy upgrades in here. Right, I can run the smelter now, and I think the chocolate's all going through. It's not splitting it the way I kind of hoped it would. Just put all of it in the fluid extractor. I'm just manually going to remove that so I can get some chocolate liquor going. And I just need to see that this whole thing is working properly. Yes! It does all go through to make milk chocolate. Right. And it's making a decent amount of it. So then I think it's time that I just activate all of this extraction. So then it should start to fill up these machines with everything that they need, but it's really not getting enough power. And I've run out of delighted meals to put in here. I'm just going to manually make some quad smingets and see if that's any better. I really can't tell. So many of these machines are just getting far too little power. I think I'm just going to have to face the truth. This whole thing is a bust. There was no way I was going to get this to work. I tried as best as I could to get this working, but I don't think there's any way to salvage this. I'm just going to have to completely pivot to something else. But whatever that something else is, I don't know. I was really hoping I could push to thermal energy and then switch to those generators, but I don't even know if I can get there. I might just have to cave and get a nuclear craft generator, because this just isn't working. I haven't even finished it. It doesn't automatically make the quad smingets, but I just don't have the energy left to try and debug that, because it's not going to work anyway. I can get this line producing quad smingets eventually. It just won't be able to ever power itself. So I can still leave this here, but I think for the time being, I'm just going to disconnect it from power, because I'm not going to be using this anymore. I might come back to it, because quad smingets are still really, really good food, even if they have no nutrition value. But for now, I think I'm just going to have to retire this entire system, because there's no salvaging it for its original purpose. So then, I think I'm just going to have to leave this video here, because I've been working on this for quite a while, and I'm just giving up. I don't have any time to do something else, so between videos, I'll figure out where I'm going next, and just kind of recuperate a bit. So yeah, not the best note to finish a video on, but I don't have any other possible note. I can try opening some loot chests. Maybe I can get some good loot from these. Ooh, a hang glider. Nah, not really. Hang glider could be good, because a hang glider combined with slime boots can go really fast. Wow, okay. The increased speed cap of the hang glider stacks with the increased speed cap of the slime boots. So this is going to be a good thing to keep in my back pocket then. So I guess that was a slightly better note to finish the video on. But still, that's going to be it for this video. So, bye.